Hey guys, welcome back to my first part of my vlog for A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. If you haven't watched my vlog series for the first book, A Game of Thrones, this is going to be the same thing. I'm going to be reading every 100 pages of this. I'm going to be uploading a video, which is going to be talking about my thoughts about the 100 pages that I've read so far. This is going to be a spoiler-free thing, guys, so have no worries. But I might talk about events that happened in book one, but I will try to steer away from major spoilers if I can. I must say I'm really pleased and really excited to be reading this book and getting back into this world. And it seems a while since I read a book that I've been this excited to read and this into, and I've only just started it. So far, we have been introduced to a prologue, which has introduced us to some new characters that we didn't hear about in. Well, we were mentioned about some of them in book one, but this one we see them, yeah, and read about them in a little bit. We read about Stannis, which is Robert's brother, who was the king on the Iron Throne, and how Stannis is real. He's a really fierce warrior and leader. He takes no nonsense from anyone, and he seems to have all this stigma attached to his brother, and how his brother kind of let him to rule Dragonstone, which is a small island kind of south of the world. I'm pretty sure that Dragonstone was the place where the Targaryens ruled, as dragons is a massive part of the architecture there as well. And Stannis is kind of regretting that he feels that Robert has kind of abandoned him, that he has even befriended Ned Stark and kind of looked on him as a brother. But he knows that he is the true heir to the Iron Throne. Joffrey hasn't been brought up, but you can tell that I think that they know what's happened, that Joffrey's been crowned the king, and um, the death of Ned hasn't been brought up, but again, you can feel that they know that this has happened. When I was reading, I was thinking, okay, why are you talking so negatively about Ned when he was the one that was proclaiming that you should be the rightful king, that you are the rightful king, and he died with that, and that's what led into his death. We find out about a woman called the Red Woman, who we don't really know much about. I think that she might be a sorceress of some sort, but there is a plot on her life. She wears all reds and red lipstick, and her skin's really white, and she seems to be someone that's not to be trusted. So I'm looking forward to reading more about her. And we are reading a bit about Arya Stark, and she was taken away from the execution when she witnessed her father being killed, and she's been. Well, we are led to believe that she is going to be taken back to Winterfell, but she's had all of her hair cut down to make her look like she's a boy, because the queen is after her and looking for her, and everyone's looking out and anyone around for her as well. So she had to change her appearance, and she's been brought along with this group of not very nice men and boys that were chosen from the dungeons of King's Landing primarily to take them to the wall and to ultimately be trained as members of the Night's Watch and to wear the black. And everyone's been picking on her And I'm like, leave her alone. She's been through enough. But I'm really excited to read this book and really, really into it so far. Okay, so just a small clip today, guys. I can't be bothered to do anything, substantial today because I've just come back from work and I'm tired and I can't be bothered to do a long ass clip. So in the book so far, we've followed Sansa where she's been at King's Landing, and she's been putting up with what's going on, her situation, and she's learning to do one thing at King's Landing, and that is to survive and say the right thing and not piss off Joffrey or anyone else. Because Joffrey's always saying to her that, oh, you should die, and oh, well, I'm going to kill your brothers, and I'm going to kill your whole family, and there's nothing you can do about it. And he's always undermining her, saying how unattractive she is and how stupid she is. That's a big thing that he does now, is to say how stupid she is. And at the end of her section, we find out that Tyrion has come to King's Landing, and his part is very political. His sister isn't really pleased to see him at all, because she was expecting her father, not her dwarf brother, to show up. And he's not really wanted, but he is accepted, and okay, fair enough, he's here now. And he hasn't come across Joffrey yet, but I know that he's going to, try to control Joffrey, but Joffrey is a big dick and he can't be controlled. And it's kind of upsetting that no matter where he goes, no matter who's around, Tyrion is always rejected by either his name or his small stature. And we are also reading about Bran now as well, and he's at Winterfell. And I was thinking that, why don't the Lannisters just attack Winterfell? Because Bran is pretty much in charge of the whole thing. And I'm like, it would be so easy for the Lannisters just to invade Winterfell and take it over. I mean, I know they probably have defenses there, but would be so easy for them. But I mean, anyway, Bran is trying to come to terms with the fact of being a cripple, and I think he has to try to have that transition where he has to try to accept it. I was thinking that it would be really interesting if Glocta from the Blade Itself books from Joe Abercrombie, if he met Bran, and I think that'd be kind of a unique and interesting encounter because they're both cripples. And I'm not saying that Bran is going to become like Glocta, who is like a real, really mean and rough person. But what I mean is they are both cripples, and I think that Bran has to look at him being a cripple as a positive, like what Tyrion does. He doesn't see, he doesn't let people define him by him being a dwarf. That doesn't define him. So I think that Bran needs to find that kind of level playing fields, and so to speak. Hey guys, I've just come back from work and I thought I would just tell you what's happened so far in the book, just to conclude this vlog video. So far, this comet that we've been told about that happened right at the start of the book, I thought that was going to be like a passing scene type of thing, and wouldn't really hold any significance to the story. But I'm 100 pages in, or roughly anyway. It's about 97 pages that I'm in right now. Well, technically 100 pages, but I read a little bit more on the way home today. But this comment has been mentioned like frequently by members all over, or people from all over Westeros, and it's red in color, and people have named it different things. So I do not know whether it's going to hold some massive significance to the story or to the plot, or whether it's just something that just happened. I don't think it's going to be something that just happened. I think it's going to be important to the story, but I don't know how. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we read a little bit about John, and him and the members of the Night's Watch are preparing to go beyond the wall to try to find John's uncle who went missing. And that's good so far. We've spent some time with Sam, who has been reading a lot of history and getting lost in books on the history of Westeros and its gods and its history as a whole. So that was really good to get that perspective. I suppose that the author has to get across some sort of history of this world in some way. So far, my conclusions of the book so far is that it's really good. It started off a bit rocky because I was introduced to some characters that I wasn't too familiar with or not familiar with at all. But I've been reading loads of characters that I've been used to in book one, and it's a comforting read. It's something that I'm very familiar with, and I am enjoying reading these characters and about their journey so far. So yeah, that's been my first vlog for Clash of Kings. Sorry about the background, guys. I've been filming this whole video vlog thing in the same location in my house. Have no worries about that. I will be filming in different locations. Maybe outside because it's getting nicer outside now. The weather's been really nice, so I'll be filming outside in parks. So it won't be just in this location in my house. Um, if you want to see anything different in these vlog videos, like if you want to see me reading or doing something else, then please feel free to mention it down below in the comments. I usually think about like filming myself reading and just fast forwarding it, but I mean, tell me down below, guys, would you be interested in seeing me reading a book with the footage being sped up? You know, let me know if you have any ideas about how you want me to improve these vlogs, or if there's anything that you want me to include in them to make them more interesting to you guys. Please let me know. So anyway, I think I better cut it off here, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, if you clicked on it, and hopefully you've been entertained by it, and hopefully you will continue on this journey through Clash of Kings with me. So next time I see you, I would have got up to page 200 roughly. So I'll see you then, guys.